Hey guys, Moss here. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. Thanks so much. Alrighty, we'll just wait just about a minute. Just everybody connects. Welcome on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. So the first half, this first half on Moss on Sundays is Moss analysis. It allows me to scan you and see where things have held you back in the past, and then help you remove it. So my abilities come from two near-death experiences, very different than most, say, people who have like psychic abilities or anything like that. Those are all, say, lower. I wouldn't say lower level, but maybe lower level frequencies, because they're of a time-bound frequency. That's what I mean by lower. Okay. You want to be into more of a knowing, like many of you who've experienced exponential intelligence, right? You start to see that it's more of a knowing, more of a knowledge-based, that you connect to tap into, say, the universal knowledge that's out there about, say, a specific issue or a specific person. So it transcends like emotional values, like again, clear audio, clear whatever that's out there, right? Psychic abilities or anything like that. So just one second. Sorry, I do have a little bit of cold. It's not COVID or anything like that. It's just through this time, my body, and many of you might have experienced that, or experienced my abilities as well. Through this time, a lot of transformations coming up in the world. We'll be talking about that in about half an hour, where I talk about wealth, a true definition of wealth, the deep science behind wealth. And that's coming up in about half an hour. For this segment, again, it's Moss analysis on scanning you and seeing what is going on with you to help you remove that and turn your life into, say, a higher level of consciousness. So I'll explain more and more, because it is different than anything many people experience. So this one, Adrian, we'll just put it on. Hamas, big thank you for the human reset. Can you please work on relationships between my older daughter and my partner? Sure. So when I tap into, say, your partner, well, let's just say that you've changed so much that everybody feels unstable around you, which is really fantastic, because you can't support anybody the way that you used to. Nobody can support anybody in any way, by the way, whether you're a parent, a child, I don't know, a spouse, whatever it is. You cannot support individuals, and that's this new paradigm. And you'll see that through the presidency, and I guess every other scenario. You'll start to see that more and more people will start to become more and more independent. Although as they go through the process of becoming independent, they're going to start to lean on people more and more. So your partner is starting to lean on, say, your older daughter, because she's very similar to you, because, well, you're not there as a support mechanism. So after that, after that gets say done, and she starts to realize that, hey, I can't support on anybody other than myself, then that's where she starts to solidify and become stronger, all of you. So it's a great opportunity for your daughter, by the way, to to really reclaim herself, and not have people say, wear her away, so she can be a support mechanism for individuals, if that makes sense to you. So for your daughter, it's a great learning opportunity, so she doesn't recreate the same life that you did. Okay, So that's a good thing. On human reset or anything that you do with exponential intelligence, you start to notice that it's not just you that changes, your whole surroundings change. Your loved ones change, and your enemies change. Whoever it is, they change around you, because you are, say, the factor. It's not, most changes occur in today's society where you stay the same, you want to change your environment, and then it gets worse by changing laws and forcing people to do certain things and so on like that, and then we end up getting the same results. In the XI world, exponential intelligence, it's all about you claiming yourself, reclaiming yourself, making those changes, and then your environment changes. It has to. It can't stay the same. So you are a creator of your environment, okay? No matter what you think or how it works. Let's see, on on this one on Instagram, this one, Julia Hawks. Happy Sunday. Will you scan me and my partner? Sure. So it just seems like, say, the two of you are seeing each other for the first time. So whatever that you've done with me through XI and all that, really fantastic. It's like a new awakening for you. You're starting to see things from a very different, say, frame of mind, a very different state. It's almost like you peeled off the lenses and you're seeing things for the first time. And now you're starting to see that, say, the relationship that you had in the past, it seems like it seemed like it was kind of a brother-sister type relationship. So, and you're obviously wanting to more in say, an intimate type relationship. So so will that happen? Sure, it can happen, as long as you guys keep transforming the way you have been. Okay, so right now you're at a level where you're peeling away definitions of relationships for the both of you. So really good stuff. This one, hey Moss, can you check on my shoot? Can you? Sorry guys, I lost you here. We'll take this one. Help me at the reality where I am not am my best possible self. I attract the best relationships for me and have my money. Sure. So free spirit. So when I tap into you, again, so from what I'm seeing is that you're actually pulling away and identifying what it means to be a free spirit, because most individuals like you, or like people who are in the past from, or people that ran, patterns like you tended to be, say, imprisoned, so to speak. Yeah, you tended to be in prison and then always wanting to get out. So you're always wanting to say, hey, I'm free, I'm free and I'm this and I'm that, but you're always like running away to or towards that freedom. So now what's happened is that you're actually realizing that you don't have to run away from anything or anyone. You're actually just free, so, which is very different, right? Because most people who say fight for freedom, fight for liberty and justice and all those things, they're not free from it. That's why they're always fighting. Or the underdog, they're a victim, so they always have to fight for other people to awaken them. So so this is where you start to realize that you are, say, the master of your world, which is really fantastic. So congratulations. This is also where you start to also realize that you are the creator of your world. It's not that something happens to you and then you it's not something like where something happens to you and then you reflect back. Right? So you produce what's happening to you. So if you're going, if I do X, Y happens to me in my environment, which is a really good place. So you're playing around with that. So what I was helping you with is actually understanding, the give and take of again, consequences, right? If you're doing X, then Y will happen. It's just logic. So, and you keep doing X, why will still continue to happen. Most people, and I know that sounds kind of crazy, right? But most people, they don't understand that logic. They'll keep doing the same damn relationships, same money habits, the same everything, and they go, "Why the hell is my life happening? Why doesn't it change? Why does it not change?" Well, because you keep doing the same thing at a deeper level. So this is where you start to learn. This is where you start to learn, say, the deeper understanding or the deeper physics on why shit happens the way they do, and then adjust accordingly. This is where you become, say, less emotionless, and it's not because you're cold or anything like that. You're starting to, say, adjust your emotions in the proper way. So it's a really nice place to be. Again, take control. So, okay. If it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. It's not because, well, I should do it because I don't know, because everybody should be in love and peace and love and light. That's just straight out a lot of bullshit. Nobody lives in love and light, and those people who always say they do, they're always victimized, they're always abused. So, and again, that could have been your past. So, no offense for those who think that they do live in love and light, but analyze your reality and you'll see what I mean. Okay. Um, this one is fiercely soaring deeper. Yes. Hanas, would you love to have a scan? Thanks. Sure. So again, you're really doing fantastic. You've really seen a lot of changes happen for you. And what's happening now is like you're taking ownership of yourself, right? You're looking at life and going, wait a second, life is, again, that's the theme, I guess, for today, is like, life doesn't happen to me. I happen to life, which is really a fantastic opportunity. So you're pushing back on those things that you would just take normally for granted. It's like, somebody would tell you to do something, but you start to understand it's like the underlying reasons on why they would do it, and then how they would, like, well, over time, just destroy you or control you, and then you'd have no say in your life. So really fantastic place to be, my friend. Keep doing it. It also gets to the point where you don't have to, say, age like your parents did. It's like, shit, I don't have to look like that. I don't have to get ill like that as I age. That's how far or deep of a no that you're going to go down, which is really exciting. Imagine that, you're getting older and people just assume, no matter how, wealthy you are, or how, um, how wealthy or influential you are, that people just assume it's like, well, shit, you just age like your parents do, or you just age like society. That's total bullshit. It doesn't have to work that way. We're getting into the concept. We're getting into, and through XI, where you start to look at society, it's like, shit, that's fucked up. I don't have to age like that. I don't have to have create money like that. I don't have to do whatever like that. There's still work involved. You still have to understand, say, the physics on how to create money, how to do wealth right, do friendship right, do relationships right, do aging right. But the conventional wisdom on all those things are all wrong. They're absolutely all wrong, and that's why we have a society like we do today. Right? And again, if I'm knocking anybody down, no offense, but look at the society that we have today. It could be at a higher level consciousness. So, and that's what the problem is. Everybody thinks that you have a different solution, but if that solution is from the same chaos or consciousness that, say, the problems came from, like many of you in your lives, it's going to be the same shit over and over again. Look at history. Hey, Moss, could you scan me? Help my mom transition. She's in a lot of pain. Sure. So a lot of times, again, as you awaken, your elders start to awaken, which is really one of the big issues in today's society. People don't know how to die properly. So for those individuals like your mom, and then other individuals who are, say, getting ready to cross over, or have recently crossed over, let's help them out. Let's just take a deep breath in. And I know that sounds kind of weird to some of those people who are new, but you'll see a big difference if you're in that situation. So it's not just like hearsay. It's not like a blessing or anything like that. Literally is shifting, say, frequencies for those individuals that are crossing over, so they can cross over properly. If you want to look at it another way, as we take a deep breath in again, help those individuals. Think that programming, that, say, for example, this person's mom, that programming, she dies, that programming has to exist somewhere, right? That consciousness, call it a consciousness, it has to exist somewhere. So where does that consciousness go? It has to exist somewhere. You can't just delete it. It just doesn't die off. So most likely, the loved ones start taking over that consciousness. And then that's what we call hereditary. And that's how we age, the same patterns. That's how we keep doing the same thing over and over again. There we go. So for your mom, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, not a doctor or anything like that, but as she's awakened, and she wanted me to awaken not her husband, her brother or something like that, or it could be her husband, but it feels more like a brother type feel. So a brother or so yeah. So whoever that is that she's worried about, helped her with that individual as well, so that both they cross over properly, and you'll see, say, a a lighter load off you, or a huge load off you. There we go. So, I know it sounds strange for some people, but it works. It's real. This one, hi, would you scan my 2 daughters? Shiva, sure. So you again have changed quite a bit. You're not as, say, protective over them, which is really fantastic. So as you've pulled away, yeah. So as you pulled away, what's happened is that let's see. Yeah, as you pulled away, you're allowing to see how you affected, or the way you've handled that relationship has affected them, which is really fantastic, because this is a great opportunity, for you to pull away even more and then allow them to stabilize themselves. And obviously, as they stabilize, they're going to be making mistakes and so on like that. So allow them to make mistakes. Also, this is where they also get, or kids have, great strength coming forward for them as well. So I see a lot of transformations or a lot of shifts for for them. They do have to go through some experiences of, say, understanding and realizing what life is about, because you've always, say, maybe suffocated them in the past, just to be kind, right, through that love. And now, they're going to have to go through some of those old patterns and, say, start to delete, or confirm those deletions. So that's what your daughters are going through, which is really fantastic. So it's a really nice place to be. So what I was helping you with there was allowing them to see beyond your patterns, and then the father's patterns, and just going, okay, my father runs these patterns, my mom runs these patterns, society runs these patterns. Which of those patterns do I want to keep, any of those, or do I want to create my own? So that's where they are. But again, they still have to go through and delete or confirm their own deletions. You can't do that for them. So again, nice place to be. We'll continue on. And sorry about the sore throat, guys. This one is Morgan Mellis. Morning, Moss, please read me and my family. Feeling a big push to move and create a new life, although feeling tethered at the same time. Yes. So where you are, you've always been, say, tethered from what I'm seeing, but this is the first time, and many of you will experience this, by the way. Again, that tethering feeling is nothing new. It's just that, you're at, level 1, or you were at level 1, now you're at level 2 or 3, and you're seeing what's holding you back. You're seeing, say, the weight of your life, your previous life, and that's what's pulling you. Again, the key is that for many of you who, especially who did the, total human reset, you're seeing the heaviness of your life in the past, It's nothing new. The key is that again, I stress it again, it's nothing new. So this is a great opportunity for you to see all those things that have pulled you down, and this is a great opportunity that for you to understand that you have to make some decisions. You have to change your habits, your belief systems, how you process information or how you process life, and do something differently. Now, those things, there are plenty of like self-improvement psychology and, those people that are out there that do that stuff. So, and again, fantastic information out there on, so I would get some knowledge, some like, wealth knowledge or success knowledge or whatever that you need, logistical knowledge, to say, create a new path for you. Okay. So again, guys, exponential intelligence, it allows you to say excavate or just clear out the foundation that you support your life on. It doesn't really say, I mean, it does, but it doesn't teach you, say, the logistics, the specific logistics on, how to be, say, a better speaker, for example. But exponential intelligence would allow you to be, say, your best possible self, and get that confidence, that completeness, remove, any issues that you've had as a childhood on why you wouldn't be your best possible self, and be that grand individual who can speak, could be that great orator. Again, it doesn't give you on, like body language cues and, things of that nature. It doesn't give you the material side of that, whether it's psychology or NLP or anything like that. So XI, again, improves whatever that you are. Okay? So, which is really fantastic for those individuals who are, want to be better lawyers, or want to be better healers, or want to be better, I don't know, helpers, or better parents, whatever it is. It just allows you to be the best possible self that you can be. Okay. It's not like you do XI or you do something else. It doesn't work that way. A lot of people, through self-improvement, because most self-improvement gurus and so on, they always go, it's like you do my program and that's all you do. No, you don't do that here, because nobody does what exponential intelligence does for you, by the way. Okay. Let's see. Just give me 1 second. This one, so many comments come through here. Sorry. I'll just pick one. Boss, can you scan me, help me become my best self and have amazing friendships as well? Yeah, so the reason why you're asking is, for the first time, you're actually feeling, you're experiencing yourself. So in the past, and again, a big thumbs up to you. In the past, what you've been doing was always compromising yourself, right? So you connect with somebody and you want to be friends. It's like basically what you would think to yourself. It's like, okay, what do I have to give up? What do I have to do to be friends with this person? And then, well, you would sacrifice whatever for that friendship. It doesn't have to work that way. Now you're going, shit, I don't have to do any of that. They are, I am what I am. So really a nice place to be. This is also where you will start to attract those individuals who are, say, worthy of your friendship as well. And this allows you, again, friendships and, that connection, that deeper connection that you're with yourself that you have when you look in the mirror. It's not like, shit, it's like, who do I have to be? Why am I a loser? All those patterns, the mind talk that most people have, right? That they can't get away from. Do you notice all those things, say, removing or removed out of you as well, and going, hey, I am a decent, I'm a fantastic person, or you start admiring yourself. So again, those are all fantastic key signs that you're on the right track, obviously. So outward signs is you, again, by confirming your deletions, you don't allow other people to treat you like you were treated or you allowed to be treated in the past, which is really key. So So after you go through that process, and again, it doesn't take long, you start to attract individuals who are, say, worthy of, to hang out with you, and that's really the key. Again, there doesn't have to be, say, a sacrifice for you to, say, have people around you, which is really fantastic. So. This one, Moss, can you check my progress? I want to see if I distance myself from all sabotage patterns. Have you? Seems like there's going to be, say, one more experience that'll come up for you, and you'll see how clearly your, say, patterns ran. Okay. So these are all like learning methods. Again, guys, I can help you delete your programming and patterns that you have, but you have to confirm the deletions. So in this case, you've done a fantastic job. It's just that it's going to be the most fantastic, say, learning experience for you. And that's the key. You have to understand that it's a learning experience for you. With that experience, within the next 2 weeks for you, and I'm just giving you a heads up, because sometimes we just need a heads up to go, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen. I need to confirm, because sometimes we get, our judgment is still clouded because it's not clear, and that's what the learning experience is about. You get so clear on the nuances on how sabotage works, and you go, shit, that's really that knowledge awakens you to the level, and then, well, it never happens to you again. So yes. And it also builds a lot of confidence in you as well, and that's why that's important for you. Okay. Again, sometimes when we go through things, guys, and say that I help you delete, say, negative relationships, and you attract a negative relationship, but and you go, well, shit, it didn't work. Well, it did work. It's just that this time your negative relationship that you attracted, you were clearly aware of the negative relationship. You were clearly aware that that person would abuse you or distort you. But what do? You go no to that negative relationship. You don't continue on. So that's confirming your deletions. Okay. This one. Hello, Moss. Could you please scan me and change my pattern with procrastination? That ruins my life. Sure. So again, you're at a level where you're starting to realize that is it procrastination, or I think a lot of people think that they procrastinate, or they give up on things and they don't finish what they start and so on like that. But the reason for that, for a lot of people, is that I don't see you as procrastinators. I just see you that you want to find yourself. Your deep intent is to find yourself. So you get into a relationship, for example, and then you start to say pull back, like you used to. You start to pull back, and it's like, shit, this relationship is not for me. But what the hell is wrong with me? They have all the physical features that, say, a positive relationship should look like, but then later on you find that the relationship wasn't for you. So that's why you don't go forward in that relationship or that situation. You might think that starting this new job is going to help you, but then over you lose interest in it and you don't want to go forward. Again, the same reason exists, is because you continue in with that job, and then you get the same results. Being controlled or being, say, stepped on and so on like that. So your intuition or your guidance, your procrastination is saving you. The key is that you keep repeating, say, the same pattern over and over again, and you think it's procrastination. So in this scenario, helping you, say, remove that pattern completely for you, where you'll get attracted to something, and you'll start to see that as you go forward, you'll get uncomfortable in a good way, because that's you going beyond, say, the leash, because I see a leash on you. You can only go, say, so far, and that's another reason why I don't see you as procrastinating. Just imagine if you've had a leash. You can only go so far. The leash is, say, like 10 feet long, right? You can only go 10 feet out, and then you get snapped back. And then it's like, well, why can't I go any further? Because you've had a leash on you. That makes sense to you. So again, do you call that procrastination? No, I call it a leash on your life that you can only say experience life 10 feet out, and then you have to come back. Okay, so that leash is broken, and you'll see that as you get close to where that leash would have been on you, old patterns, discomfort, and all that stuff will show up, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm free. So you have to go push beyond that space of discomfort, and then um, and then it'll go for you. 33 years of marriage. Could really use a scan on myself, possibly my husband also. Any advice appreciated? Sure. So, 33 years of marriage. Sure. Um, through exponential intelligence, and whatever that you've done with me have really say allowed you to really say go forward and start to create another identity for yourself. So what that means is that you're looking back and you're going, shit, I missed out on this, and I missed out on this, and I missed out on that. And it's not a bad thing. It's not like you missed out and, there's going to be a void like in the past. Okay. Because you did miss out on a lot of things in life. You kind of went through life and you were always like looking forward, for example. It's like, well, when X happens, then I can go back and do whatever I needed to do. But, you never got a chance to go back. So now through whatever you've done with me, you're going, shit, now I can go back. So this is where you start to, kind of not like your body, not like your life, and again, it sounds negative, but in reality, you're getting uncomfortable with where you are, and you're starting to go, I wonder if I would have done X experience, back when I was, in my late 20s, what would have happened? So you're going to go back, or, create, say, the opportunities for you to go back and reclaim your youth. So that's where you really are. So obviously your relationship has to say awaken, especially after say 33 years of marriage, your relationships start to having to awaken. So congratulations on that. It's up to you two to awaken at the same time, and experience, it's like literally, two different people connecting together. Without all the bullshit in between. So for the first time, although again you've been married for a long time, for the first time you get to actually see each other for who you really are. So really fantastic. So we'll take one more IGH caller. Instagram caller, sorry. And then we'll shut Instagram down, guys, and then we'll restart, because Instagram only allows us an hour of length, and then we'll continue on with Facebook and YouTube. Okay. This one is from Alita Kaur. Moss, can you scan me? Help me become my best self and have amazing friendship. I think I worked on that one. This one is Kara Russell. Please help my friend's mom with COVID. Thank you. Again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but it just seems like she's got a lot of underlying health, say, reasons and she just doesn't feel like, she doesn't want to say live. So, and it's not because of COVID. It's just that, life has just been too hard for her. So sometimes, something like, say, COVID comes along, and it's like, hey, it's a great excuse to get really, really ill, or even say crossover, which is sad, obviously. So helping her, I can work on her just a little bit, just to help her awaken and go, hey, there's other possibilities or probabilities out there than, wanting something to end. So there we go. She gets into relationships where, she gets forced into being somebody that she's not, which is obviously great. So, and then she's like, she doesn't know how to pull out. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect Instagram, guys. Come back. Come back. I'm going to end this, and then I'll reset. And then for you guys, just give me 1 second, guys. And then we'll get into wealth here. Go live. Alrighty, so while we're waiting for those guys, this is this was Moss. I feel quite lost. How can I be my best and also achieve those great friendships? What do I need to do now? So yeah, so so a lot of you again who go through the XI process, sometimes you do feel lost after the process because your whole life, or you get passionless. Okay, so let me explain that, and then we'll get into the wealth. So the reason why that happens is and I know it sounds backwards, but it's really not. So say for example that your life, all your life you've wanted to find yourself. That's the main purpose. That's the underlying purpose. No matter what you do, your deep desire was to find who you really are, just to be human, right? So you'll go, well, if I date somebody, like in this example, maybe back in the day, if I date somebody, so-and-so, they're gonna get me to be who I am. And it's like, shit, that didn't work out, right? Or then you go, well, if I start another career, like you did maybe in your 20s or something, like I'll go pursue this. And then what happened is like, shit, that didn't work out, right? So over time, it's like, I'm gonna go do this. And it didn't work out. I'm going to go do this. It didn't work out. So, and that's the key. You have this desire, or a lot of people want to make money that way, or get fortune and fame, that we'll talk about in just a second. But what happens again, you don't find yourself, and you get disheartened, and that's really the problem. You get disheartened. So on the other side, though, is that with exponential intelligence, mostly, especially within like 18 days, with the 18-day metamorphosis that we do, you start to find who you are in 18 days, or less. And then as you do, you start to go, well, shit, I don't need to connect with friends. I don't need to do that, because your key objective all this time was about to find yourself. Well, you just found yourself. So that's why you might get disheartened or get passionless for a little bit. But this is the great opportunity for you to go inwards instead of going outwards. Okay, you go inwards, and this is where you start to analyze yourself. You start to study yourself. You start to get intimate with yourself. You start to know the nuances. You start to be comfortable with your weaknesses that that people have. Okay, you start to go, oh shit, I need to practice this. I need to, work on this. I need to, change my diet, whatever it is. And, you become really, really honest with yourself. And then you create a strong core of who you are. And as you, create that strong core of who you are, well, your possibilities of what you want out there, in the environment changes by then. And then you start to have a purpose, a real purpose, not to say, define who you are, not to say find who you are, but because you've already found who you are, but this is to define and expand who you are. Okay, that's where wealth, creates real abundance. That's where friendships create that deep, lasting, say, appeal. Right, that's where a deeper understanding, or even if you say go to nature. Most people, maybe like this person here, maybe in the past you used to go to nature again to say escape, like most people do, right? You escape your identity and I'll be going to nature. But, that's just the minimum of what nature does for you, and I'm talking probably, again, because of your experiences, whoever you are. Now you're going to go into nature and really discover what nature and the full potential of what nature can give to you and what you can give back to nature, right? So there's a symbiotic relationship that happens between you and nature, and you'll get to see that. You get to flourish, within nature, but then also outside of nature as well, which is really fantastic for you. I say that because it seems like you might not need to go to nature to really connect and understand your deeper self. Okay, so so let's get to Moss on Sundays, guys. Again, this is on wealth and success. Let me just pull up my notes. So just give me a second, guys. And what we'll do, we'll make it an experiential meditation. So what that means is experiential is that, well, it's not just where, I pump you full of knowledge and then you go home and, chew on it, which is totally fine. Sure, that happens. But let's make it a deeper understanding on, say, what wealth is, what true wealth is about. Okay. And I'm just going to read the copy for you. Like, in today's society, wealth has become, the rule of measure for everything. If you think about it, right? For example, in today's society, you have a group of people, say like Bill Gates or whoever, it's like, well, shit, they made a lot of money. It's like, so they should know everything about everything, right? Because they're successful, because they made a lot of money, right? And they should know everything about health. They should know everything about how to run the world. They should know everything about, they should know more than how nature works. And we should be able to allow them to control nature and the logistics of this environment and so on, because they know better, but they don't, right? So that's where, again, it's like this person made a lot of money, and it's like they're better than me, and that, which is all straight out bullshit. That's only like 1%. But in today's society, that's what's happened, right? You see it on Facebook, you see it on social media all the time. It's like, hey, I have a lot of money. I can even this what's his name, Grant Cardone. He burns money and stuff like that, and he thinks it's all that, which is really fantastic. And but I see him and I see his wife and his family, and they're fucked up just like anybody else. No offense, Grant, but you're fucked up just like anybody else. And a lot of those individuals, it's like I got money, and you've got the biggest, I forgot his name, but he's not Walton. Anyway, he does a lot of silver. He buys a lot of silver. I forgot his name, but he talks about money and this and this, and he still ages the same way. He, his life isn't fantastic, and or anything else. It's not. It's no different. They just have a lot of money, but their knowledge level of making money, again, fantastic. I'm not cutting that down. It takes a great skill to make money like that. But then, what about the other aspect of your life? What about everything else? Your relationships, your health, how you age, who you are as a human, what happens to the world. If those individuals, and again, not knocking them down, but I'm just giving you, say, an idea and a representation on, say, how true wealth could happen. Okay, if those individuals were really, say, awakened, their impact on philanthropy and everything else that they've done would, say, have massively, say, transformed this reality with that much influence. So what is it that have kept that from happening? Okay, if those political leaders or mind leaders and all that, if their, say, knowledge actually worked, right, because they had wealth, it would have massively, say, transformed individuals. And I go that as far as religion as well. If those religions, they really would have worked, they would have been more individuals like a Buddha or a Jesus or what have you. But there's not. The key is that there's not. It's just not. It's not working. Okay. And most people think, well, especially in today's society, because again, through social media and everything, you have to have money. If you're money, you're good. But then, you're better looking, you're smarter, you're happier according to, social media and all that. But, if you look at, if there's, if you go to YouTube and you search all those wealthy individuals that, really quick fortune and fame, why are they committing suicide? And there's tons of stories. I forgot what I was searching for, to do some research on this subject. But there's a ton of people going, shit, I've got the fortune and fame, but then why am I not happy? I'm worse off than where I was before. Okay, but on the flip side, okay, and I'm not saying that wealth doesn't provide happiness and all that stuff, but it doesn't. On the flip side, non-wealth doesn't provide happiness either. So those people thinking, well, I'm lucky because I'm not wealthy, or I'm lucky because I don't have money. No, you're not. You don't even understand that you're worth having money. So that's the key. At least those individuals think that they're deserving of something, right? For them to, just one second. Can you come back? Thank you. So I'm at a hotel. So anyway, those individuals, they have, say, at least they have, say, a little knowledge of understanding that they have, say, they are worth at some level, right? Something, and hence wealth. So, so where do you fall in between, right? So the other aspect is that most people think, and this is where, say, wealth degrades itself. No matter how much or how much wealth you have or how little wealth you have, this is the reason, the number one reason why that I see that wealth doesn't, say, suffice the way it should, because it's not defined properly. Okay. The other aspect is that if you are wealthy, historical belief, right, that you're greedy, you're cold-hearted, your beauty is bought, right? You've got plastic body parts, lips, and whatever that you've done. You have no deep relationships because it's all based on money. It's just business. It's nothing personal. They have no soul, and certainly aren't going to heaven. So you have two extremes, right? And so why is there two extremes? By the way, that polarity gets worse and worse as today's society continues on, in a good way, because it allows us to, say, awaken to higher understandings on what wealth is really about. And that's what this quick Moss on Sundays is about, what wealth is really about. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. And again, for those people who are new, this is a deep state meditation where I guide you into understanding what wealth is really about. Okay, from a very different perspective, not just a logic perspective, but, say, a cellular perspective. So what does that mean? Just notice your chest area, okay, as I speak. So what that means is that, when you're wealth is an intrinsic value of who you are, just like the state of being of who you are as human. You don't, say, question yourself. Well, some of you do. So, but you don't question yourself as, say, like, I'm human, right? You don't go, well, am I an octopus, or am I a cat, and again, some of you do that, but most individuals go, well, I'm just human. But somewhere out there's a definition, or there's a program that defines you as human. Okay? Now, and I know that sounds kind of strange, because you just go, well, we're just humans. It's like, no, you're not. There's a programming, there's a consciousness that you've tapped into to understand or to create this body that you call human. We have to understand that within that consciousness, there's a program for wealth. That's the key. There's a program for, say, natural abundance. Okay, so if you take a look at a squirrel, right? If you take a look at a squirrel, for example, they get born in the springtime. They have no recollection, or they have no idea of, say, winter, nothing at all. They have no concept of winter, but what do? They're programmed to gather nuts. Or, you look at the monarch butterfly, they go, they fly south, or the birds, they fly south. They're all preconditioned. You might call it that instinct, but it's actually called wealth for them. There's a wealth frequency within them that dictates that they have, say, a certain level or certain standard that they live by. Okay. In human, say, consciousness, that standard is not preset. And I know it goes really deep. Okay, but just hear me out, and I'll tell you, because I've helped a myriad of people, again, hundreds of thousands, come into, say, that wealth state. Not just money, because money is only 1% of who you are, and that's why money in itself doesn't satisfy. Right? People have say, redefined, going, wealth or abundance equals money, or lots of money in the bank. That's what the problem is. Real wealth comes in at your cellular level. It's a cellular memory that you have. Most humans have forgotten that cellular memory of who they are. So even when they have, say, wealth defined like in today's society, it doesn't suffice. It doesn't provide the nutrition or the sustenance that we all look for, right? And again, you can prove it to yourself by looking at all those wealthy individuals that are, as say, the same level of happiness as non-wealthy individuals, right? They still get ill, they still get sick, they still get addicted pattern, they still die the same way. Everything is the same. They just maybe do it, I don't know, maybe more fashionable. That's the only difference. Everything else stays the same. Okay, why is that? Because your cellular, say, structure, your cellular essence of who you are, as far as a wealthy being, that is non-existent in humans. Okay? If you go, if you go look into, say, the animal kingdom, you see that there's a natural abundance within them, right? Those animals never go below. There's always, say, the floor, not a ceiling, but there's always a floor for them to never fall below. In human society, that floor has been broken several times, through consciousness, through the breaking of the human will, okay? Through political or control mechanisms, however you want to define it. That's another subject in itself. But through that, where you have your power of who you are, your essence of who you are, your deserving of wealth of who you are, has been taken away from you. Okay. And you might go, well, the US is a free country and this and this. Is it really? It's not. Look at all the things that wealthy individuals have to do to, say, keep their money, right? They have to grovel. Money has become an outside value for them. It's like, look, I have money. I am worth being here. That's the conditioning of money. You yourself have no value in itself. Think of it, okay? Everything is conditioned to go, hey, I have money. That means I have value. That's where, say, wealth starts to fail itself. That's where success starts to fail itself. So let's take a deep breath in. And I know it goes really deep, but you'll see what I mean. So we'll go into a deep state of meditation. And again, very different than, say, your normal meditation. And let me help you reinstall your natural cellular memory. It's in your genome. Wealth is in your genome. It's within your genome. It's your natural state of being, by the way. Okay, let's take a deep breath in, and I'll just explain it a little bit, the science behind it. When say nature creates something, or if you want to call it God, however you want to define it, it doesn't really matter. It creates the environment and all the sustenance that object or thing, person needs to create or to evolve. It's your inherent right. So as we take a deep breath in, through control mechanisms in human consciousness, that right has been, say, taken away from you. So you define wealth, again, outside of you, not internally. That way, no matter how wealthy you are never owner of your own self. Again, no matter how wealthy you are or little wealth that you have, you are not the owner of your own self. So if you think of it at a deeper level, nothing will suffice for you here, no matter how much money you have, how much land that you have, how much people that you control. If you think that's far-fetched, look at the state of society today. More and more control is needed because those individuals at higher levels, they're starting to see that their wealth has no value. That's what it's all about. Wealth has no value here. We're starting to uncover, unfold that wealth in today's society, the way humans have, say, designed it, have no intrinsic value. It's all fiat. So as we take a deep breath in, the beauty of it all is that your natural state of who you are, your own brilliance, okay, of wealth is coming in. It's taking over. That's what many of you are feeling. That's what many of you are, say, attracted to Mass on Sundays or whatever we do here, because this allows you to recreate your natural essence. Okay? Now, if you're a spiritual person, just notice your sternum. Imagine that you're a spirit, an awakened spirit. Would you be in lack in any way possible? Would you be complete? Would there be any shame or guilt of having wealth or being your best possible self? You wouldn't, right? That's your natural inherent being. That's encoded in your cellular structure. So as we take a deep breath in, noticing your spine, notice how you're feeling, by the way. Obviously, it's deeper, more intense than your normal meditation. So all the definitions of wealth, obviously false. Whether it's positive definition or the negative definition, it's wrong. It just is. Because it creates a value for who you are. That's why it's wrong. Are wealthy people smarter or happier? Maybe, but maybe not. Again, those are value systems based on how much wealth you have. As you take a deep breath in, the real definition of wealth and success is that you already are of value. So let me just say that again. You already are of value. You know your self-worth. You know that you're worth beyond anything, say, physical here. So as we take a deep breath in again, so there's no value attributed to you. You already know your value. That's the key. You already know that you're a complete being. You already know that you deserve the best. Nobody can take that away from you. Again, through human consciousness of control mechanisms, that's the only thing, or that's what's, say, the only thing that is, say, worth a value, and that's why it's always taken away from you. Think about it. Look at the marketing, look at political systems, look at how you control your kids, look at how you've been controlled. Your natural essence, your value gets eroded so you can be controlled. And then you get judged by outside, say, circumstances. So as we take a deep breath in, bringing that back for you, so you know your value, you know your true worth, especially for women. Look at those things that you, say, give away in exchange for security. That doesn't never provide you security, right? That's the reason why. So as we take a deep breath in again, noticing your sternum bone, noticing your skeletal systems. So your chest, your ribs, those things that support you, support your body here. Let me help you instill that natural wealth that you are. As a note, I'm not knocking wealth down, but you want to do wealth right. To go deeper, as you notice your spine, your mid back, right down into your tailbone. If you look at today's society, this is where people covet wealth. They'll do anything for money. The reason why is that if you're drowning, for example, you'll do anything to stay alive, right? No matter what it is, you'll do anything to stay alive if you're drowning. Society feels like they're drowning. The wealth that they see in their bank accounts, no matter how little or how large it is, it's not providing the same, say, sustenance. It's not allowing them to stay above water as a consciousness goes. So as you start to understand that who you are, or the wealth around you, or the success around you, starts to become a reflection of who you are internally. Now, this is where real wealth creation comes in. This is where, as you start to note your value of who you are on the internal side, your true worth of being human, of being here. One, nobody can control you. Two, as that frequency, say, resonates in you, your environment starts to change, starts to transform according to the level of wealth that you are awakened to. And this is where you don't have to slave away, for your job. You don't have to, say, give of yourself or exchange, your nobility for money. This is where you actually start to, say, enjoy what you do. This is where you start to flourish. This is where, again, wealth, or what you have on the outside, your environment, starts to become a reflection of who you are on the inside. And it goes deeper than that. As we take a deep breath in again, really strong deep breath in, just noticing your chest. I'll help you remember at a cellular level your natural affinity to be abundant. And abundance is not just money. Abundance means all aspects: health, wealth, relationships, that higher connection to however you define a Godhead. Again, strong deep breath in. Notice how you're feeling. The deeper version of this, and you're seeing it in societies. If you've ever noticed cities of high wealth, there's extreme poverty, no matter where you go, right? It's not third world countries. This is like places like New York, Los Angeles, the UK, France, supposedly high-level societies. According to what scale? As far as finances go, or the physicalness of wealth, money, right? Deemed according to human consciousness, sure, high-level societies. But if you look deeper in those societies, you start to find, say, the real score Hence, whenever you have, say, massive wealth, you always have massive, say, poverty, because it's a reflection on how those those individuals, and again, it's not just those individuals, it's humanity as a whole. It's society. It's not just those individuals with wealth, they're the bad ones. All human consciousness, if you're in this human consciousness, you're part of the problem, right? You just are. So it's just showing you extremes, super wealthy, super poor, but it shows you, it gives you a scale on, say, how poor consciousness, this consciousness is, or human, how poor this human consciousness has become. Hence, you see tent cities rising where there shouldn't be, especially in high-level societies like the US or the UK. And no matter what you do, again, no matter how much they try to, say, eliminate that, why is it always so, it proliferates? It's an outward condition of the disease called wealth. And it's not, say, wealth. It's not like money is bad. We have to move away from that. Okay, so there's two aspects that we talked about. Again, there's two camps, right? Money is good and you're better, this, and then money is evil and you're not going to go to heaven. They're both wrong. They're absolutely both wrong. Money or wealth is a reflection on how awakened you are in its real terms. If you look at a Jesus, a Buddha, a Muhammad, those individuals, they had wealth. They could attract wealth. Whatever they needed, they had. That makes sense to you. So as we take a deep breath in, that is a reflection, again, of the wealth that you are naturally, say, as an awakened being. The grander version of who you are, whether, even if you're atheist, you know that you deserve to be a grander version of who you are, right? Again, outside of religion or spiritual patterns. So as we take a deep breath in, does that help you reset, recondition, again, removing old religious spiritual patterns? So if you're in that camp, note, if you were an awakened spirit, would you be in poverty of any sort, or would you be of complete self? Your whole goal of being spiritual and religious is being close to your spiritual value. So shunning away wealth and then disgracing other people who have wealth, which you don't, that just tells you how, say, distorted you are, not to realize how, say, grand you should operate in this reality as you do on the other side. Okay? For those individuals who identify completely with just wealth, or who are non-believers of, say, a higher consciousness, that's fine too, but look at the emptiness that's on the inside. Look at how much you have to prove to other people, including yourself, on, hey, I'm deserving. It's the same thing, you're just seeing it from different perspectives. Again, you do not know your natural value. So you base it on something that is, say, tangible. Both sides are corrupt. Look at society. So as you take a deep breath in, helping you instill your natural abundant state, your natural programming for abundance. Again, if you're created here, just like anything else, the abundance for you to exist here is available to you. Humans have to choose whether to accept it or not. I'm just going to go into silence for just a minute as we end. Let me help you instill, say, that natural light, the natural right. As a note, this is nothing to do with religion or spirituality. It's just straight out the physics of the universe. Moves away from all that bullshit of politics and religions and whatever bullshit that humans have lived for centuries that haven't worked out. It allows you to move into higher level consciousness on what human is defined as. As a note, wealth is it's not my definition of wealth. It's your natural, again, frequency of what wealth is defined as being human. Okay? So just resetting you back to your natural state of being human. So again, very different than, say, your explanation of wealth. Warren Buffett's explanation of wealth, or anybody else that's out there. Your natural state of, say, abundance. That's what we're getting back into. So does that mean that you're just going to be happy with nothing? No, that's not the key. You're going to be happy with whatever you have, and whatever you have will, say, expand upon you as you expand upon yourself and notice, say, the abundance that you are. So the cars and the toys and the luxury items, all those will come into you if that's what's needed for you or not. Either way, you'll be wealthy. But again, the key is that you do not adjust your value on what you have. You already know the value. Okay? Everything else is, say, an add-on or a bonus for you, which is, again, very different than how most people see wealth. So congratulations. You will see a lot of transformations, not just on, say, your wealth and success mechanisms, but every aspect of you, because this isn't just about making more money. This is about, say, expanding your whole being into, say, the completeness that you are. Okay? So again, thanks for following me, guys. Again, follow me on Instagram and YouTube, Masati. Notice what you notice, and then notice all those details of what you're noticing as we come into that new consciousness. Thanks.